everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the different versions of Enma that we have. As you can see, we have 3 right here and I got one in my hand. So I'd like to go over all 3 of the different versions because I know I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, what is this one? What is that one? Da 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 da. And I'm here to answer all of your questions. So let's get into it. So the first one we have here is our battle ready black Enma. So our black Enmas we have 2 versions of. We have a battle ready and a dull version, so a carbon steel version. Same thing with the purple one as well. So let's talk about the battle ready one first. So first off, let's start with black Enma. So I know what a lot of you guys might be thinking, which is, why do you have a black Enma? Enma is purple. And to that I will say, both of those things are true because this is our manga accurate version of black Enma and the purple one is our anime accurate version of Enma. So it's really up to you which one you want to get. Get both if you really want to. But this one we find more accurate to the manga and this one is more accurate to the anime, obviously, because in the anime it's purple and in the manga it's black. So let's talk about the different versions of them. So the one that I'm holding in my hand right now is our battle ready version. So this is our high carbon steel version. We have a high carbon steel version of black Enma as well as a carbon steel version. I will show you that one in just a second. So high carbon steel just means that it's sharp. So this is obviously our sharp version. So it has a little bit of like a few differences from the carbon steel version. The biggest difference would probably be once I show you the blade. Obviously the blade is sharper, but it has its own fixings as well that kind of like complement the blade, that shows you that it's battle ready. And also you can't see it here, but there are mekugi pegs in this sword, so it is full tang. The blade fully goes into the handle, so obviously it's a lot more safe and easy to use compared to our carbon steel versions. Our high carbon steel versions are the ones that you're going to want to use if you actually want to cut stuff with it. So the high carbon steel version is ideal for display purposes if that's what you want to use it for, or if you just want to cut some stuff up. I get it. We all had that fantasy before, and I respect you for it. So if you want to do that, the high carbon steel version is the way to go. Again, because it is high carbon steel, it will retain its sharpness a little bit better. I know some people might be thinking, why can't I just do it with a carbon steel sword? Because what's the difference? I will show you what the difference is once I open the blade and you'll see why. But the biggest reason is because the carbon steel version isn't going to retain its sharpness as well as the high carbon steel version is. So let me show you guys the blade. So here is the blade of our high carbon steel version. So as I mentioned before, right over here is how you can kind of tell that this sword is high carbon steel. The stuff that's holding the blade together is much different from our carbon steel versions. And the other way that you can tell that this is high carbon steel is that if I were to put my hand on this, slice my fingers off, because it is incredibly sharp. And you can kind of see that when I kind of flip it like this. You're going to want to be really, really, really careful with this sword. I don't recommend giving this one to kids just because, you know, anything can happen. So make sure if you are getting this sword, if you are under 18, make sure to ask your parent just so that they're okay with it. And make sure you're always using under parental guidance. If you are an adult, just be careful. Health insurance can be expensive. So you don't want to do anything that's too risky. So this is our high carbon steel black. And then also one of the things I love about this sword is just the red detailing that it has all over the blade. Love that. And this one with the high carbon steel, it just looks really, really pretty. Let me show you guys our purple Enma in high carbon steel now. So here is our purple Enma in high carbon steel. Between the black Enma and the purple Enma, there are very little difference. I think the biggest difference you'll probably see is this gold banding right here versus this red banding right here, as well as these flowers look a little bit different. And then there's this here compared to the black Enma that doesn't have that. So those are the 2 biggest differences. The blade also looks a little bit different. And again, what I said earlier, this one is ideal for display. You can also use it as a cosplay accessory, but you're not going to be able really to take this to cons. So that's something that you have to be really careful about because I know that a lot of cons probably wouldn't allow this. But let me show you guys the blade. So this is the blade of purple Enma, and again, this is the anime accurate blade. So this one looks very, very cool, very, very different from the black Enma that I showed you guys. This one has its yellow and green kind of fire design all over it, and I absolutely love this one just because it looks really cool with the purple. And again, same thing as the black one. It has the mekugi peg, so this is fully tang, and it is very, very sharp. So again, do not touch the blade. Be very, very careful if you get this. And you can see right here also these gold fixings are the same, which makes it obvious that this one is a battle ready katana. Let me show you guys our non-battle ready ones now. Okay, so here is our carbon steel black Enma. Let me just take its tassel and bring it to the front. If you take a look at the the high carbon steel black Enma is right here, and here's the carbon steel black Enma. They look almost identical. The biggest difference again is that this blade is dull and this one isn't. This one I recommend if you, again, really if you want to put it for display purposes as well. It's going to work the same way as a high carbon steel version. It's just really up to you if you want something that's sharp or not sharp. If you want to use this as a cosplay accessory as well, you're not going to be able to tell the difference on camera if it's sharp versus not sharp, so that's completely up to you. And I think in some conventions you might be able to take this as a cosplay prop, but you have to check your convention's website before bringing it. But if they allow it, then this would be perfect for conventions because it is dull. Let me show you guys the blade. So the blade is about the same as the high carbon steel version. You have that same red kind of design on it. The only difference is, look, you can do this. I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. This one is dull. And again, when I say this and when I touch the blade like that, remember I work with these swords, so I'm a little bit less scared to do this. And also, if you are getting any of these swords, make sure to be very, very careful because even if it is dull, it is still made out of metal. It's still a real sword. So it's something that you still have to be cautious about. So make sure, because again, these tips are very, very pointy. So make sure you're still very careful with these swords, even if they are blunted. And if you look right here, these gold fixings are obviously a little bit different from the ones that we saw on the high carbon steel version. Ow, see that hurt a little bit, but not really. So that's your indication that this one is our carbon steel version rather than our high carbon steel version, other than the blade being dull. This one also, the blade does go fully into the handle, but it doesn't have the Mikugi pegs, but the high carbon steel version will. So this is our carbon steel version. Let me show you guys purple Enma. And finally, here is our purple Enma. This is our carbon steel version. So again, this one right here is our high carbon steel version. If you look at the two of them, they look almost identical. The only difference again is being that this one's blade is dull and this one's blade is sharp. Let me show you guys the blade of this one because I know that's what everybody wants to see. Here you go. And it looks exactly the same as the high carbon steel one, but again, I think also the blade is a little bit thinner, but I'm not sure by how much. You can also touch the blade. Again, be very, very careful, but this one is your blunted version, so you're not going to need to be as wary as you are with the high carbon steel version. If you take a look right here, you have those different gold fixings, the same one that this one over here did, the non-battle ready black Enma. And again, that's your indication that what's battle ready and what's not battle ready, other than taking the sword and, you know, touching it and finding out if it's sharp or not. But they all look very, very cool in their own right. Again, it's completely up to you how you want to, you know, purchase your sword. If you feel like you want a carbon steel version because, you know, it's a little bit less pricey and it's going to serve the same purpose to you, then by all means do it. But if you want to cut some stuff, show your friends, and you know, play some Fruit Ninja, I recommend the high carbon steel version. I also don't recommend getting these and trying to sharpen them because even if you were to sharpen them, they're not going to retain their sharpness very well. So it's going to be very short-lived. And it's not gonna be very fun. So if you want to cut stuff, do it the safe way. Get the high carbon steel version because that is the best way that you're gonna, you know, be able to cut a watermelon in half. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like any of these swords, make sure to check the description because all the swords will be linked over there. And if you want to see more of the stuff we have, make sure to check our website, fireandsteel.ca. If you guys like our content and want to see some more of it, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment. If you want even more Fire and Steel content, feel free to follow us on any social media that you guys have, we also probably have. Until next time.